Hey Brittany, I was trying to get some footage on the drive-in, but I was on the phone, so no footage of the drive-in. But this is Brandermill in the Seven Oaks neighborhood, and pulling in, you can see we're into the cul-de-sac here. So not at the very end of the cul-de-sac, but still enough to have like the pie-shaped lot. And this is it here. So let me go ahead and get parked, and they have the garage door up. Partially up because there's a cat that goes in and out. So and you can see a little bit of staining on the roof there to the left. Anyway, let me go ahead and get parked, and we'll get this thing going. Okay, so this is at Seven Oaks, and see they're asking $350. They came on the market like September 30th, and they had a price reduction from basically $360 down to $350. About maybe not quite a week ago. And just giving me a shot of the cul-de-sac here. It's a bit of a slope coming down this way. Not a whole lot. It's kind of a gentle grade, but you figure the water's going to head this way. The back, if I remember correctly, sits up a little bit higher, so the water could be coming in, towards the foundation. Something to look at. Roof doesn't look bad, but you can see, I don't know if you can make it out up here, but like some of the shingles, it's a bit long on the overhang, so you can see how they're starting to curl over. But usually what you're looking for with shingles is if they start lifting, like the edges, the tips start pulling up, that's when you can tell it's getting a little older, which I don't really see that here, at least not on this side. The other side might be a different story, but definitely some staining happening along the rake line. Rake line is the angled edge that goes up onto there. Why are you focusing in on my finger? Up through there. If this is cedar siding, that's good siding. You just have to keep it sealed. Basically, by sealed, I mean by paint. Keep paint on it and caulk and whatnot. And we're in Brandermill. You can see this has been redone. So I imagine you don't typically do that for nothing. So they could have had maybe an issue in the past, but you can see how that looks fresh and new there. So I'm assuming they probably addressed some type of settling at some point. But I've walked around this foundation before. I guess it was maybe a week and a half ago or so. Oh yeah, you can see where some of these shingles are starting to tear on the backside. And I'll tell you, trees, they don't do a whole lot of favors for roofs. Anytime you come across a situation where you have trees overhanging your roof, you have stuff dropping on it and everything. Everybody thinks of branches and stuff, but I'll tell you what does a lot of damage is, and this is just sand here, so that would really you'd want to have that filled in properly, because over time rain's gonna splash that out. You have like sap and stuff falling from the tree branches and the leaves, and that can, I don't know if it's like acidic or basic, but that can definitely wear out the life of the roof. And you can see there's some rot along through here, so that would want to get that replaced, or somebody would. And then there's some rot along the other wood windows here. So these are single pane windows that you can see in there with storm windows. We typically, before COVID and everything, prices have gone up since then. But before COVID, when I was working with investors, we would typically average around $350 or so per window, per average size window, to replace and install. So you take these windows, count them up, and if you want to get thermal windows or double pane windows, you would want to multiply that by at least $350. I'm not sure what it would run right now, and with the environment that we're in right now, cost-wise. This is people always call it Trex decking. It's composite decking. It could be Trex. It could be some other brand, Timber Tack or something like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get inside, and we'll keep going. All right, going in, and just wanted to reiterate. We do have some rotted siding along through there. It's all I've seen so far, but I haven't really picked it apart. But and keep in mind, even though I've been in this one before, I see so many houses every day. After a while, they just kind of start to blend together. So, but it's nice to know that they didn't replace the board; they just opted to paint over it. That's all I'll say about that. Hardwood floors as you come in. These are, I don't know what this line is about. It's almost like they stained one side and I couldn't tell you. It's like they stained one side and not the other, maybe. Not sure. But here we are. We have a chair rail in the foyer. And I think these are 8-foot ceilings. And you can see that's probably like the original chandelier from, what was this house built like in 1980 or something like that. It's listed as 1980 renovated, but there are some renovations and obviously some not. Dining room off to your right here with chair rail and crown molding. Again, it looks like it's 8-foot ceilings throughout on the bottom here. Hardwood floors, bit of a crown in the floor right there. So that could be something, you know, structurally related. And, you know, could be much of nothing. What I usually do is when I see things like that, I'll look at other things like, are there any, you know, cracks in the walls? This is not completely insignificant, but if it was just that by itself, I wouldn't really think much of it. So there's two things combined. You know, it could be something, then again, maybe not. It's just hard to say until, you know, somebody gets in and takes a look under the crawl space there. And if there were like any cracking in the foundation, which we'll walk around there to see as well, that would also add to the recipe there, to all the ingredients. Plantation blinds, and then we have shiplap, basically, chair rail. This would be the family room here. Exposed beams. And I think I was telling you before when I was talking with you on the phone, this is, there is a wood burning fireplace behind this. And this is like a faux slate. It's like almost like foam. So I was saying faux, F-A-U-X, but I believe it's like a type of foam as well, F-O-A-M. And this is electric here. That is not gas or anything like that. And I'll back up just to give you a shot of that. All right, so there's that. And I'll come over here so we can see how it is in relation to the kitchen. And sometimes you will come, you know, look at houses that will have some of the windows are replaced, like the front side's replaced, but the back is not. I don't think any of these have been replaced. These are all single pane. And there's a trick to telling if you don't know, if you can't tell when you look at it, if it's single pane or double pane. Basically you just hold a flashlight, like your phone flashlight, up to it. And if you see two reflections, it's gonna be double pane, but I know these are single pane. And you have the storm windows there. Looks like just a bit of a seam there. Okay. 1980, so if this were a home were built like in the earlier 70s. Oh, let me show you this also. If you're ever not sure what you're looking at, it's a bit kind of sunk in there a little bit. Anyway, if you're not sure what you're looking at, what type of flooring, whether it's like LVP or or if you maybe you have like a floating floor, you're not sure if it's a floating floor or, you know, true hardwood or engineered hardwood, you just take these registers up and you can, you know, take a look and, you know, see what you have. This is true hardwood. Little tip from your Uncle John. Looks like they didn't finish the transition out along through here. Which tells me maybe there was some work done here. There should be like some shoe mold or quarter round or something, some type of transition there. And we'll go out back here shortly, but you always want to feel for any softness like around like the back doors. I'll also do that or like around, you know, toilets and bathtubs, especially if they've done like renovation work in there. Just make sure they haven't gone over anything, you know, rotten or anything. This is grouted, feels like. I'm not sure if that's ceramic or what type of flooring that is, but let's go put what I'm preaching to practice. That is not ceramic tile. This is it's like a type of resin. Okay. All right. single pane. So this, the window this size would be much more expensive than $350 to do double pane. But anyway, okay, so the kitchen, you have original countertops. I would say, yeah, original countertops, original cabinets. They changed the hardware. They've added backsplash on here. Maybe not the cleanest. Let's see. And of course they're stapled, not dovetailed. I'll point those out to you later if we come across that. Holy wow. I didn't realize I had a phone call come through and it stopped recording. Good gosh. So not really sure where we left off there, but I think we were at the stove. That's really clean. So yeah, so single pane windows. We have track lighting here. Ceiling fan, ceiling light, eat-in kitchen. And I apologize, we're kind of running low on time now. We have another showing coming up on our heels here. So linen closet. I've actually been through the whole house. All right, so linen closet, and it's a nice deep linen closet as well. Let me show you the garage and the half bath. Also, I was saying refrigerator, washer, dryer. And there's a hot tub out here. So things, the general rule of thumb for personal property to remain behind is if it requires a wrench, hammer, screwdriver, or anything like that to remove it, and it's permanently affixed like to a wall or in place, or permanently affixed to the floor, it's supposed to stay. Now, a hot tub is not permanently affixed. And if you wanted that to, just check to make sure that's seated properly. This is the half bath. If you wanted that to convey, which means to stay with the property, that's cultured marble, that's original here. And that's me, I'm not cultured marble. So this has been updated, but I would say that's about it, that and the handles, fixtures. So if you wanted something if you want to make sure that it stays, or even make sure that it goes, like if you don't want something to stay, put that in the contract as well. Otherwise, don't count on like, that hot tub. If it's not in the contract, don't count on it being there. And like refrigerator, washer, and dryer, a lot of listings will say that they, will stay with the property or whatever. If it is not, you see the exposed wiring right there, that would potentially be a call out. Conditional with a VA appraisal. Could even be called out VHDA or FHA, but that said, I can't tell you the number of VA, VHDA, FHA appraisers that will come out and not call out things that 100% should be called out. But if like refrigerator, washer, dryer, if you want those things to stay, I don't care what it says in MLS, if it is not in that contract, the seller is not contractually bound to leave it behind or to remove something. So I don't care what MLS says, always put it in your contract. Some settlement crack here. It's in the garage, so not quite as crucial. Not quite as crucial as like if you found it on the main portion of the house. Still, it's something to keep an eye on, and it goes along with that whole the ingredients. You want a minimum, you really want a minimum of 150 amp service, but this is 200. 200 is really what you want. 150 would be the bare minimum, but you could even come across like 100 amp service, with some places that we would look at. And some rot along through here, pretty easy to replace that. Quick shot of the backyard. You also want to be mindful of any dead trees that are within shot of the house. You could close on your house, and I've seen this happen. You could close on your house, there's storage over here. You could close on your house, and your homeowner's insurance representative would come out after you close. They typically will come out, they're supposed to come out before you close, ideally. That does not always happen. And if they see the dead tree within shot of your house, you get a letter from your insurance company saying, we're not going to insure you until you drop that tree. And then you get a nasty letter from your lender saying we're foreclosing if you don't get insurance. Carrier unit, this looks a little bit older. So we can pull the
age off of the serial number. I'm gonna say that's probably a 2006, but I could tell for sure. I'll look it up. There's a site I can go to look it up to be positive. I can't get the age off the water heater. However, that is wrapped. I can always ask the seller or the seller's agent the age of the water heater. But being that it's out here in the garage, which is not heated nor cooled, it's a good idea that it's wrapped up. Just has a thermal wrap. Otherwise, it's struggling to maintain that hot water there. And sorry that didn't notice we weren't recording there for so long. Coat closet here. We'll run upstairs. Carpet doesn't look bad. I didn't get the age of the carpet. To me, it doesn't look like it's new, and it could stand to be stretched. I don't know if you can make this out in the video, but it's kind of squishy right there from the carpet needing to be stretched. Once we get to the top of the stairs, we have the master is off to your right. You have your linen closet here, hall bath, and with a single vanity with 4 bedrooms. So that's gonna be 3 bedrooms sharing 1 single vanity. A lot of people like to see 2 double vanity with more than 3 bedrooms. And original light fixtures. You can see there's your return as well for your HVAC. And so let's go ahead. It's gonna be a walk up out of here. So I'll show you your linen closet here. 6 panel doors. Master with textured ceiling. It's the only textured ceiling I've noticed in the house. That can be fairly simple to drop. Then again, it could be a bear. So there's a process to doing that, and I can fill you in on that later if you have questions about that. The single pane windows throughout again. Ceiling fan, ceiling light. That's updated ceiling fan, ceiling light. That is a queen size bed. That is not king size. I know some of these videos can be kind of hard to get an idea of scale. Okay. Then we have the master bath here. That is ceramic tile there. Grout looks okay. You can stand some paint there. Actually, I could just stand some updating altogether. And cultured marble. There's not granted this cultured marble, which is solid, better than Formica, and laminate or whatever. No bath, no master bath. It's just or bathtub, I should say. It just it actually feels a touch soft, but nothing alarming. So that can stand some caulk there. You can see how that's getting kind of tired there. And this is fiberglass. Okay. Oh, one check. So that has silicone around that, so that's good. So I'd typically give that a tug just to see. If it were loose, then you could potentially have water going down behind there, and that's solid there. Okay. And apologize if I'm going fast, but again, we're about 2 minutes before the next showing is supposed to start. I'll turn the light on here. Walk-in closet. And then there's a bonus room. This is what they call the frog, the flex room over the garage. It is not hardwood. This is some type of a laminate here. You have knee wall here, and then this is locked, so I'm not telling you what's in there. Gun safe or something. I don't know. I don't even want to venture to guess. Ceiling fan, ceiling light, texture ceiling. Once again, if you can make that out. Nice size space over here though, and good amount of natural light coming through, even with the cloudy day and all the trees that we have. So this is nice. Also, if we come across any bedrooms that are over top of the garage, this one is not over the garage. This room is. If you have a bedroom over the garage, whenever somebody's leaving or coming in the morning or whatever, someone else is trying to sleep, could potentially hear the garage doors going up. So just to be mindful. Let's see it properly. Again, could use some freshening up of the grout or some silicone caulk through there. You want to get no water behind there. That feels fine. And that's snug. Fiberglass tub. Okay. We'll go in this room shortly. There's a walk-up attic, so I'll show you the walk-up attic. Another linen closet. They did have, looks like they did some work on a crack there. That's what that looks like. Same thing here. Okay. So, all right, so this will be, as far as the way we're counting, bedroom number 2, double width closet, no overhead lighting, so you're gonna have a floor lamp in here. Also, if you come across, especially in like newer homes, if you see double width closet over there, if you come across an upside down receptacle, upside down plug-in receptacle, you know, for your power, upside down, especially in newer homes, that is actually typically nowadays done on purpose. That one that is flipped and the rest of them are right side up, the one that is flipped is typically going to denote that that's for a floor light switch. Operate, you know, from right here for a floor lamp. Okay, and this will be an easy one to get to the attic. No access panel or pull down or anything, and I don't see it. Well, this is your closet here. I'm sorry, I don't see a true closet, but this is your closet here for this bedroom. We can also see, yeah, you can see like some of the tearing on some of the shingles here. So not a new roof, not in bad condition, but some of the granules are starting to get tired. Yeah, definitely not a new roof. I would say you might have 10 years on it, maybe, before you go into patch mode, leak mode. Here we go. All right, so heading up to the attic. I was showing a house about 10 years ago, and I heard the weirdest noises as I was walking up. A lot of floor space here, and couldn't make it out. Insulation looks okay in some places and looks a little tired in others. So I'll just be mindful of that. And this is single zone. I don't know if I pointed that out. When you have single zone system, looks like they may have had right here. I don't know if you can make that out. It looks like some standing, like maybe it has leaked at some point. That could be ongoing, could be something they've had corrected, I don't know. Single zone, so this is single zone here for your HVAC, which means you have one system to heat and cool. Looks like they have updated some of the insulation at some point along through here. You have one system that is heating and cooling the entire house, upstairs and downstairs. In that scenario, you can typically find that it's gonna be warmer upstairs and cooler downstairs perpetually, year round. Unless you have a damper system in place. I did check it for a damper system. I did not see one, but a damper system, you can direct more heat downstairs when you need it, and more cool upstairs as called for. No, I didn't see that here though. Okay, to add, if you wanted to convert this to a 2-zone system, and we're just gonna go out the front so that way when the next showing shows up, they can. Okay, sorry about that. Had a phone call come in. All right, so we'll go around this side since we kind of sort of went partially around the other side over there. Yeah, but to install a 2-zone system here, if you could reuse the existing system that's in place. 2006. Typically, I tell people, like, as far as like a true blue heat pump system goes, there are different types of systems that you can have. But true blue heat pump system, typically recommend after about 12 years or so, maybe start pocketing away for another system. But if you're getting it serviced on a regular basis, changing your filters out, every season, that can make it a lot. It could last you. You could look at 20. I've seen a 30-year-old heat pump pulling what it's supposed to. That's really rare. But I think on average, about the oldest I've seen is like maybe 20 years, 22. But somewhere between that 14-year mark to about 17-year mark. If you're, you could be looking at another system at that point. But if you're maintaining it, that goes a long ways. So we've gotten a lot of rain lately. It is a little musty under here, and you can see the insulation. Some of the insulation is kind of fallen. And if you see stringy insulation, I would say this is on the cusp of being stringy, but stringy insulation can be indicative of excessive moisture in the crawl. I'm not really picking up on that, but it's it's definitely not bone dry either. So, but when it comes to shrink swell soil, I'm not saying they have that here, but when it comes to shrink swell soil, it starts to shrink up and cause issues when it gets too dry. That's as good as that's going to close. So you ideally want some type of moisture to it, but yea, verily, you can see, right along through here, this has the makings of wanting to be a stair step crack along through here. I don't know if you can make that out or not. Let's back up. You see what I'm talking about? How it almost kind of zigzags through there, and down here, it appears it's kind of like pulling out more so. So, that could be something that, we want to have like a structural engineer take a peek at, or somebody would want to do that. Let's see, what else? The chimney looks fine from what I can see, but you would want to have probably have a chimney inspector take a look at that. I would say that is not insignificant there. So that's something, you would want to have somebody like get it in the crawl space and take a peek at that. Also, get some more along through here. And you can make out the grade of the slope is coming in towards the house, so that's going to be water coming in. It could be getting into the foundation. They do have gutters, which can definitely help mitigate that water flow away. And this is coming down. I don't know where they have. You have one corrugated line running out here, and this one. Good gracious. Yeah, I guess it did it again. So, so coming out here, I was saying, as far as like if you wanted to add like a 2-zone system or whatever, if you wanted to add a 2-zone system, as long as you could reuse the second system was about 2006. If you were reusing the second system, and they could reuse the, tap into the existing ductwork, you'd probably be looking, I'm going to say $8,000 max, and I mean max. I had a quad recently, I guess maybe 5 years ago, where we went with top of the line everything. Did 2-zone, they had run ductwork everywhere. And when you're talking quad, you have to get really creative with the ductwork, and that was $15,000. So you could add another system here, for at least I'd say no more than 8,000, and that's with them. If you want max, top of the line everything. All right, so the crawl space here, and I went through this already. So, but for whatever reason, my phone, I don't know what it is, it keeps stopping recording. So we've had a lot of rain lately. It is a little musty in here. You can see some of the insulation is kind of falling down. It is a little musty in here. I don't really see anything that looks like excessive moisture in here, but it is musty. I'm hypersensitive to mold. I'm not really picking up on that per se, but that's not to say it's not in here. Also, stringy insulation, I don't see much in the way of anything that I would necessarily call stringy insulation, but stringy insulation can be indicative of excessive moisture in the inner crawl space. I didn't see much in the way of that. They do have vapor barrier in place, but that looks like some pretty tired vapor barrier. And I'm not talking about the tarp. I'm talking about this whitish plastic stuff there. That's vapor barrier, which is going to keep moisture from getting up into your rafters. Also, I don't know if you can see this. Looks like the start of some stair step cracking all through here. So I don't know if you can make that out. And it's actually kind of starting to pull out some. Inside the crawl, the ground did look kind of moist, which, when you have shrink swell soil, I'm not saying they have shrink swell soil right here, Brandon Mill, you can have shrink swell soil, but you want to have some amount of moisture to the soil at shrink swell. When it dries up, that's when it can start to, shrinking and cause problems for your foundation. And then, yeah, so you see this cracking along through here, right, where it's starting to do that. Same thing here, and then it's even kind of starting to pull away there. And the chimney, from what I can see, the actual brickwork on the chimney looks fine from what I can see. Obviously, if you're going to use your chimney, I would recommend getting a chimney inspection. That's a separate inspection from your home inspection. You also have some not insignificant cracking along through here beside the chimney. And then, maybe, a little separation through here. And then along through here. So these are things that I would, I'd probably recommend having a structural engineer take a peek at and just, get their recommendation. You can also make out the flow of the lot kind of comes down towards the house here, and that can lead towards moisture intrusion into the crawl space. What will help mitigate that is you do have some gutters here with corrugated lines. I don't know where that one's running off to or where it's coming from, but this one here you can see is, I don't know where that leads either, but it's should be directing water away from the property. And okay, I just had a phone call come in, but so you can see the the lot doesn't go quite as far back as what it might appear to do so in the photos there. So not a whole lot of usable backyard. And in Brander Mill, unless it's like a dead tree or a diseased tree or it's threatening the house in some way, good luck taking it down. You have to run through the HOA. And if you want the cat to convey, you would want to put that in the contract as well. I actually, true story, negotiated for someone's dog one time. I was representing the buyers, and the lady said that she fell in love with their dog and wanted to put it in the contract. And and true story. Deck looks like it's pretty good shape from what I can tell. Maybe just use like a power wash. All right, well, hey buddy. Yeah, I know, me too. Again, hot tub, if you want like a hot tub or something like that to stay, you can ask for anything, but that needs to be in the contract. It does not matter one iota what it says in MLS. And there she is. So that's the flip side. Remember, on the other side of the garage, that's on the other side. Yeah, so I would say structural engineers definitely keep this. And the compressor is 2019. This is Carrier as well. This is, all right, so we have American Standard compressor, which is newer than the 2006 Carrier unit, heat pump, or air handler, I should say, inside. All right, well, look, I've got to have to bring this to a close and head over to another appointment, but I'll try and get this uploaded for you just as quick as I can. All right, thanks. Let me know if you have any questions. You want to say bye? Hey, buddy. Yeah, can you say bye? Adios, whatever. All right. Of course, now he wants to talk as soon as I take him off the camera. All right, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Obviously, definitely some structural issues going on here. It's all correctable. I've seen it done many, many times, but overall, my thoughts on this are, they're selling it as renovated. I don't know if that was a mistake on the agent's part to put that in there, but I would not call this renovated. Okay. Overall, it seems to be fairly well cared for, though. It just, well, I'll talk with you about it. It needs updating, and that foundation just definitely that needs some work. And I still think, for what they're asking here, at 155 a square foot, that should indicate that it's reasonably updated. And I'm not picking that up. All right, let me know what you think.